It's an interesting day of conversation today.
Of course. It's so much to discuss. Of course,
Yeah.
yeah. There's so much that has happened in the past
Mhm.
2 weeks, and first of all, of course, there's a main bone of contention, which is the Chawama seat.
Yeah.
Okay, and so the Chawama seat, there's a lot of questions there, but that's a big discussion that, of
Yeah.
course, we're going to dissect that at the later stage.
Yeah.
But in the midst of all this, I just realized one thing, or I saw one thing.
Mhm.
Vanan kind of a minister of community and social justice. Is it community and what? What do you call that ministry?
Ministry of Community
Community.
Development, basically, whatever
Yes.
they call it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. She's saying she's just going to, put in her resignation later, and she doesn't want to come back in politics. But
Okay. Right. What's wrong with that?
And well, I'm just thinking to myself, like, well, why?
No.
Is it
I
something?
mean,
Is it something that happens in the system, or maybe it's just thinking of early retirement, or what is it?
look, we are going to have speculation about things a lot. And again, that's a personal decision. As long as she has not come out to tell us exactly what it is, we can read
Mhm.
into it no matter how much we do. I think we are going to really go in a completely different direction if we start thinking of, oh, maybe, oh, there's something that, no, there will always be some kind of speculation in that way. I don't think we should. Maybe my personal philosophy is that if you don't tell me what the reasons are for anything, I do not know anything else. Only what you tell me is what I deal with. That's my personal philosophy. So I take people by that value also. When
Mhm.
people come in and tell you, okay, well, I'm quitting, I'm resigning. Why? Well, I want to take care of my children. Oh, okay, fine. That's good enough for me. But
Mhm.
not yet. No, I don't want to go too much deep into that because I feel like we will always come up with some things. Let's
Uh-huh.
not forget one thing. Um, uh, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know much about social media, but there's a couple of things that I do remember during Mamba. I don't know much of her, but I've heard about things about her. She was the one who was in a conversation with Chavinga at some point when they were talking about going uh, to South Africa for this and that. There was a audio that was flying where Chavinga was saying it was AI. Remember that video audio? I think that's the lady, if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, that is the lady that was in that. So regardless of undertones of all these things, I personally don't really even want to go as far back as that. But I feel
Hmm.
she she has come to a point where she concludes that maybe she doesn't seem like relevant enough
Mhm.
to continue performing, and therefore she wants to just step out and be in a public life and just leave other people to take over. I feel like that's a mature way of actually stepping down.
Mhm.
No, want to at this point, not that immediately. No, when my term is over, I'm not going to recontest. That's very mature. We should really respect that and say, oh, fine. And then let's take it for what it is and then get somebody else in there and
Mhm.
leave it alone. If we had start speculating at you, if until maybe the ship is sinking, Chabana ship, we will find things, believe it or not. We will find reasons for
Mhm. Uh,
and we don't want to start finding
no,
reasons
no.
for people
Actually,
leaving.
that wasn't even my train of thought. I was
Yeah.
just thinking, like, look, um, maybe she did something wrong. You know,
Who
not
knows?
that
We
not that
don't
the ship
know.
is sinking, but maybe her herself,
Yeah.
maybe she did something wrong, and then she realized that, look, the only way to get out of this is to just
to leave
resign.
it. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
and get out of this honorably, other than being fired.
Okay, that is
Maybe
good
that's what I
too.
was thinking. But I'm not thinking on the lines of. 'Cause, I mean, the ship cannot sink. I
Sinking.
mean, this is like,
Okay.
the modern day Titanic. It's not gonna sink.
Okay.
Um.
Correct. Yeah.
So,
So you're right. You're very right on that. But then if she decided to say, I'll finish my term and I won't come back, we should be
yes.
okay with that. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But of
Yeah.
course, questions we gotta arise to say okay, because it's not common
Yeah,
in
that's true.
political space where
Yeah.
you're under a ruling party
Yeah.
and just say no, I want to go home and just sit and relax. It's not
Okay.
common. Okay, those
No,
are
it's
uncommon decisions
yeah.
and decisions that are made by very few people. And if they make them, of course, we have to ask questions to say,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, she won't give you an answer that you want to hear. I think
mm,
even if she feels like, or even if there was anything else that she did wrong, the thing is, yes, maybe she's setting a tone that listen, you can still leave the dance floor when the music is still good.
mm,
You know,
mm,
you can still do that. It's honorable of anybody to do that. If somebody feels like, you know what, I can still leave the dance floor now.
mm,
For those of us who we used to, when we were younger, we used to go and do these clubs and stuff. Why la mwanaka time? And ni 03 na kunganda ino. Bantu bale shaba bale shana.
Maria kujaji
Zero
kabisa kwa Maria.
Kushantemba and all those kind of places,
Eh?
like,
Kuma
Shantemba,
Alpha Club.
Valentino, Skulusak. Yeah, right. It's like, you know what, it's 03, man. I gotta go home. You leave the dance floor when
Uh-huh.
things are getting hard. Music is going down really good. You leave the dance floor when it's still in popular. There's nothing wrong with that.
When people are still clapping.
Basically, yeah, that's right. That's what she did. I
When
mean,
people are still.
it is what it is.
Yeah, okay. So,
Yeah, yeah.
Dr. Danny has joined us. Dr. Danny, welcome. I don't know if first you're enjoying the weather there. It was
Hola,
a bit
hola,
cold.
hola, hola. How's everybody?
Oh,
Maybe
Dr. Danny, what's up, man?
one day you should
We're good.
invite one of the Puerto Rican guests on the show.
Um, uh, I'm actually watching
Uh,
uh, watching these troops leave the island because the island was packed with
mm.
Invaded, not even packed. Don't use the right words. Invaded.
the,
Eh.
the Trump troops are leaving the island now after the Venezuela
Oh
Oh
my
man.
gosh.
launched the attack from here. Yeah. Anyway,
Aye.
yeah, they really used their very smart military. What you gather a lot of what you think you're coming on the ground, and then just use a few people
Mhm.
to
Mhm.
attack. Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, yeah, I'm all right. Who
So
was it?
since we're on that,
Yeah.
uh, why don't we discuss? Because the technology they use, it's one of those technologies that have been studied for. It has been being studied for years and years,
Mhm.
and there's a machinery called a sonar disruptor. So what it does is once you hit it or you turn it on, it will create a sound wave that's going to disrupt radar signals, cell phone signals, everything within a certain range.
Mhm.
So once they employ that, that's where that guy was saying. If you remember what that guy, the security guy, was saying, that we didn't realize what was going on. We just realized people were just jumping. The drones were all over, and nothing was working, and the blood was coming out of our nose. It's because of that same kind of technology. It's like a sonic boom. So they hit it,
Mhm.
boom, and then it spreads
Mm-hmm.
within the specific area where they want, and then it's going to disrupt. And by the time the people were going to realize, that was the time when they were just seeing, go, the soldiers already here, they've already got him, he's already out of the compound, he's already going to America. By the time
Mhm.
everything is coming back to normal, it's all gone. This is the type of technology, that the alien technology that they've been working on for years and years, that America has been working on for years and years and years and years.
I mean, no, it's
And
not surprising because obviously, those things that you watch in sci-fi movies is those things are real. So this
oh
is
yeah, oh
exactly
yeah.
what what this is all about. If you have pangat, the certain sound, if you talk about it, like something shaking the world, and people are like falling all over the place, but without even being hit by any bullets. I'm not surprised that that's. I mean, the Americans is a big power as far as the ammunition is concerned. I'm sure somebody else has developed something different, but I think it's not really surprising that this is what they could lead to. I mean, they could lead to in trying to attack a small place like Venezuela. They
Yeah.
probably, yeah. It's not surprising. They probably like give them like a shock of their lives. Like, what is this? You know what I mean? So, uh, yeah, I'm not surprised at that.
Yeah, which
But
is funny because I mean, just last time when Donald Trump attacked Nigeria, when he sent missiles in Nigeria to go and attack supposedly a terrorist group, there I raised the alarm. I was like,
yeah,
Nigeria has made a mistake. You cannot allow a foreign country to bomb, no matter how much you have differences or problem with the terrorists. The best thing that Nigeria would have done was like, look, America, give us that technology. We're going to go there and do it ourselves. Other than them, because once you give them that power, guess what next? So that was just like more like a training ground. The following a couple of weeks, they went to Venezuela. They did that. Guess next, who are they going to target now? So Africa is sitting at a certain defense where we're looking at this guy can come and bomb whatever country he wants, which is against international laws. And what he did in Venezuela is against international laws. Everybody is talking about it. All the bodies of the but nobody's actually coming out to talk really about it because they're scared. And why do we have all these organizations when they are just going to sit quiet when things like that are happening? We may not agree with Maduro, how he runs his country and everything, but there's no way a country can go there and capture a president. That's against international laws. Those are the issues that we need to be discussing. But I'm telling you, everybody's scared to talk about them. They're scared of Trump. Who knows what he's going to do next? He wants to touch. Now he's going to Greenland. He wants to go to Greenland. And he's been flirting with Canada, which is really I believe it is not something that's possible. I believe me, you and I don't think that's possible. I mean, you cannot just come and invade Canada. I mean, it's in Canada, by the way, is still under the British protectorate. So we're looking at he's be going against Britain as well. Gentlemen, right, Danny?
Hey, I'm here.
Yeah. Okay. Everybody seems to be quiet.
We're waiting for the moderator to give us chance.
Okay. Okay. Chance
We
is
follow
yours now.
We follow the rules of the game.
Yeah. Okay. Give us your opening remarks and tell us what you want to discuss, especially like today. I think we want to concentrate more on the Chawama seat.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's discuss on the Chawama seat.
Perfect.
Because this is something huge, and it's something that everybody has been discussing in the media. They're saying like, look, the UPND party is not strong on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we lost Chawama. And some people, certain sections are saying like, look, we were not taking care of our own individuals, our own foot soldiers. That's why. And they're saying again, it was a protest, some sort of a protest vote, because Chawama predominantly was PF and predominantly a home for Edgar Lungu. So it was some sort of like a sympathy vote. The people were just like sort of like they're still in mourning, and they just did it just because because of ECL. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, the idea that Chawama is a stronghold for PF is really true. In any case, the PF, basically the PF strongest support was established by Edgar Lungu by living there in Chawama for a long, long time and having basically his base there. And then the daughter came and consolidated that idea. So even when we were going in there, we knew that that's going to be a very, very tough one there. It's like going to our stronghold in somewhere in southern province or Dundumwezi, and you think you can win there, you can't. So that's a thing. But on the other hand, there were other factors that came into play as well, other than just being a stronghold for PF. Yes, we know it's a stronghold constituency. We also did some things wrong, I think, as a party. For example, we literally um, came out to think that we can openly buy the votes by starting distributing mini meal and doing all the other thing. And people have now reached a stage where you can never fool them
Mm.
by buying their vote, so to speak. All right. So that open uh, distribution of resources to people and telling them all this and that, they took it as bribery, and to me it's not a good thing. I know some people say, when should we help citizens and give them mini meal and vitenge and all that? But why should you only give Kanyama constituency? Why didn't you go to Kabwata or go to Mwembeshi constituency to give them mini meal? So that was definitely a blunder. We shouldn't do that type of thing. We want to help our citizens. Let's help them during, or I mean, not not during the elections openly like that. It wasn't good. The other thing also that we didn't do well is to our candidate as well. I know that the original candidate was not um, adopted, or he was dropped. Our first choice was dropped, but I think the choice of our candidate there, that guy could not run a race with the big characters like Nundwes. Those guys are, you know you remember Nundwe was basically supposed to be an MP for Chawama for a long, long time. He's the most famous guy in Chawama, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah. So even during Sata's era, Sata had to plead with Nundwe to not to stand to give opportunity for Longo. That's how he stepped down, and in return, he was awarded that permanent secretary position by Sata. So he's a very big guy in politics, so to speak. And for us to pick this guy who is basically, in political terms, a lightweight, to stand against those guys, the candidates in that election that were there were three of them were very, very big characters in terms of politics. Our candidate was not known at all. He has never been really been involved in politics. So that was something else we did wrong. Our choice of a candidate who could stand those big names like Nundwe. Look, the way he was campaigning, he was talking about him being a footballer and captain and jets and all that. Those are the things he was talking about. He was talking about his success in high school.
Mm.
These other guys were talking about their success when they were diplomats in Germany. And I was what? I was United Nations and all that. So he was basically a lightweight in terms of candidature. So those are some of the things I saw happening in our and finally, I think we should also stop this notion
Mm.
of saying there's no opposition. There's no opposition. I think opposition is there. We should take it that opposition is there, and let's just work so hard. They the accepting of Kalimanshi in the last minute as well was not good. Okay, that definitely took a lot of votes from us. The acceptance of those militia characters like Kalimanshi did not do us well. Okay, the Chawama people were brutalized by Kalimanshi, and there we go. We are, accepting him and giving him keys to this nice vehicle and all that. That did us bad. We lost votes, some of the votes because of that, because there are people that don't like that guy, and he was in Kanyama. He was a terrorist in Kanyama, so to speak. And there we go, accepting him before the elections. It's not right. We didn't do. I think we need to do better than that. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I think I agreed. I totally agreed with you. Agree with you. Especially on the fact that look, we brought in innocent Kalimanshi at the end. Okay, campaign started a long time ago. That started weeks ago, and then 2 days before, you suddenly bring this guy Kalimanshi and say, look. So my thinking was like, look, I don't know who are the decision makers in this, in particular in that area, but, but I was thinking to myself, I was like, if you wanted really to use Kalimanshi, you should have engaged him earlier on, not at the last minute. Because look, speculation and how people perceive and see things will either motivate or demotivate our members. And I believe for a fact that because what they did was they brought in Kalimanshi right at the very end.
What is yours? So I'm saying, what is it, a dragon? Come on. No!
Vashtumba, can you just mute yourself? Sorry. So what they did is to bring in Kalimanshi right at the very end. Right at the very end. When people had already decided. Now when they brought him in, now people, because we know like the UPND politics are a little bit different from PF politics. If you start bringing people like Kalimanshi, people now will start thinking like, oh, okay, I think now we're going to be beaten now. It's going to be war. Okay? So these are very sensitive, adoptions. When you're bringing people like that, it has to take some time so that people, even us as UPND, we groom them and educate them in the way the UPND system works. Because they are coming directly from the PF. And the way they do politics is very, very, very different from the way the UPND do politics. And there's no way in 2 days, he's going to, change or bring in some sort of support. Or even if he goes there to talk to the PF, friends, they will just listen, but they won't understand. They're like, okay, what's for PF? But in 2 days, what are we going to decide? So there they made a blunder. And to make matters worse, there was a circulation on the internet to say they bought him a Hilux vehicle, and most people were afraid, were very upset about that, and they talked about that, and the leadership didn't come up to defend or to correct the narrative, to say no, actually that is not the truth, this is what it is, blah blah. Everybody was quiet. So that led into the whether it's true or not, okay? Whether it's true or not. But the bottom line is this: people at the bottom are starting to think like, okay, if you can give this PF individual this, while as us individuals who've been working with the UPND for years and years have got nothing, then why should I go home and vote? Why should I convince my neighbor to go and vote? So there's a lot of mistakes that we made. You know, certain mistakes we made them, and you know, these well this is the result now, and the result is showing because you know individuals have. But Conka, what do you got to say about this?
Sorry, I'm in a place that is a little loud here, but I'll be brief. So anyway, I don't think that Kalimanshi had the factor, to be honest with you. I feel like it's the candidacy and preparation of our party to actually get involved in those elections. My thinking was, I think they took it for granted that, oh, we are doing so well to win now, you know. So the apathy on the part of the voters did not show up, and all these other opposition people mobilized themselves to get involved into all that. So that became a problem to me. I feel like Kanimashi is completely a non-factor. I feel like we had voter apathy on our side, and one of it because of complacency of on our electorate. They're thinking maybe it's okay. What's the point? We are good. We are going to win. That's number one. Then number two, that switching back and forth of a candidate did not sit well with a lot of people. The candidate we have, as good as he may be, I think if you heard there was a video that was showing up later that said he was I think Ali Ponta for something, whatever he's saying, like he's got money, he doesn't have to care about people from Chawama, all that kind of stuff. It's like these are your employers. You cannot talk like that. You know, voters are your employers. You don't just speak like that. You know, I think he was over ambitious and overzealous, in my opinion. He could be a right candidate, but I think it was too soon, too quick to push him over to the people. And secondly, campaigning for him or introducing him and mobilizing was not at par. So this whole loss, not only is it a lesson to be learned, I think it's a lesson to realize that we can't take our voters for granted. We have to continue mobilizing, whether we are leading, we are winning, we are doing well or not. We still need to continue engaging with them, because I haven't given a punch that they're not going to go in. Because what's the point? So Kalimanshi is really not it's a non-factor in my opinion. But you know, people will have all these kind of illusions about Hilux and all these kind of things. But I think it's because of what they think of. Uh, you know, people will have opinions. Kalimanshi is a thug. We know that he's from a PF remnant of violent people, and really, honestly, yeah, they gave me red carpet to join us, but that was not appropriate. I don't know if our secretariat is actually like serious enough to see that they have a lot of work to do than what they do right now. They've been just like that for a long time. Communication is poor. You know, them being involved into anything is just like subpar about everything. So, in my opinion, I feel like there's a lot to be worked on, starting from the secretariat all the way to the constituencies and even to the candidates in order to win better in 2026.
Yeah, of course. Those are very valid points, and you know, and I was just thinking to myself, and I was saying like, I don't know how true it is about him being given a car and stuff like that. I don't know how true that is. Whether he went there with his own personal car, or whether truly he was given that car. But the bottom line is, um, weeks before that, an individual called Chirufya Tayari was on the media actually emphasizing to say, please, by UPND, can you go and get Kalimanshi and bring him into the politics in Chawama? Once you do that, you're going to win. Now, my thinking, I'm like, look, we need to be very careful as UPND on who we listen to, because Chirufya Tayari is not a pure member of any party. Like he runs the way he runs and does things the way he does. Like we cannot listen to what he's saying and take it seriously, because who knows, he may be using reverse psychology on us, and we don't even realize it. But I was very disappointed with our team. They actually listened to what he said when he said that, look, can you go and get Kalimanchi and bring him? They even went and brought Kalimanchi. So I'm like, are you going to listen to Chilufya Tayali, really? Because Chilufya Tayali will change in a split of a second. Today, he's going to say this. Tomorrow, he's going to say that. These are not individuals that you can trust. Their opinions are not... He may have a large following on the internet. That doesn't mean he has the rights or he has the right intentions on whatever he's saying. Because he will go to bed with whoever he feels like. Okay? Today, he may say this. Tomorrow, he may say that. I'm telling you, as we are speaking right now, he seems to be saying, oh no, trying to justify stuff. The next thing we're going to hear a few months from now, we'll be talking bad about UPND. And we've seen it in the past. This is not something new. But why are we allowing ourselves to get information from him or advice from him and get it serious? Like, look, we didn't really need to make or break Chawama. We didn't really need him. So it didn't really matter whether he joins us or he doesn't join us. The results would have been the same, really. We could have either way. They could have been the same either way. Now that we've lost that seat, if he was given all those incentives to bring people back to the UPND from the PF, what now? Are they going to go back to him to say to where highlights? So I think we need to really.
Let me ask you this question real quick. The study is that seat is going to be contested again in 2026, right? That's an accurate assumption. That is going to be contested in 2026. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's cracking, a little bit cracking.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear now. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so my understanding is that 2026, again, that seat is going to be contested.
Yes.
Is correct. So it's not all lost. My opinion is that as much as we have lost, it's not like we have to be like, oh, Chapa number go today. It feels like I said, if we can still field the same candidate, he goes back in campaigning, he has good mobilization, and he has good on the ground network, mobilize more voters, they'll come out. Don't forget, there's 14,000 people, I think, that voted this time, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. It's a very small number. It's a very small number compared to the registered 34,000. There's almost 20,000 people that never voted. So now, if you go to 2026 in the general election, we'll have more people coming out. Part of them will be from the opposition. Part of them will be for us. So this is the time to field the same candidate back, go back and on the drawing board, and don't just like cry around it. You call yourself in fetal position until you're not through Sakari. We just go back to work basically again to fight for the same seat again. There's a very good and likely chance that he could actually win it, unless we are not serious about it. That's my understanding. If at all that seat is still coming out in August, this new MP is going to be there only for 6-7 months now, until August. Then go from there. So that's why I was trying to see if Mark was coming in. I was going to ask him, is it true that seat was going to be contested again? And if he said yes, then my understanding is that we still have a better chance to win it.
Yeah. You're supposed to be here, but you at Prime TV. So
I can understand that.
He was at Prime TV, just coming from Prime TV.
Money.
So
okay.
he said he might. Let's keep our fingers crossed. In any case, but Dan,
I don't know.
Yeah.
What are you thinking on the issue of Kalimanchi? Was he going to be a secret weapon? to win us the Chawama seat, or
Kalimanchi, the people that brought him on board, I think they bought his notion that he has a lot of following in Chawama. He's a big boy in Chawama. Remember when he joined, they said he has come with 3,000 voters. And you're announcing that public. Oh yeah, we have Kalimanchi has come with 3,000 voters to his team with whatever. I think it also shows us as a party that we're a little bit inexperienced in terms of playing politics. Really, you don't come there and say, "Hey, this guy we have brought here is coming with 3,000 voters." um, it's we need to be more organized and more secretive. Some of those things we do them under the table and in our own bedrooms, rather than coming out there and whatever. So to me, it was a bad move, and they thought that Kalimanchi, being a Chawama thug, so to speak, he's going to come with all those voters along with him. But I think instead of people coming along with him to vote for us, I think we lost a few votes though. Because many people are saying, manje mwamba kutiletera wameweze kutimenya manje. Manje ni vichari vichitika futi. Mwamba kuleta wa Kalimanchi. Kalimanchi was beating people every day. So that one didn't do us well. I know the votes, we cannot justify or quantify how many votes we lost because of bringing on Kalimanchi. But the fact is that there was a negative effect and not a positive effect of having Kalimanchi on board. So yeah, and then he goes boasting. To me, I think that vehicle definitely was a campaign vehicle. I don't think they gave it to him as a personal vehicle. So for him to go now in every market and stopping there saying, Moneni, we are back, the commander is back. That also didn't it's not right. So we need to be smarter than that as a party. Yeah.
Okay. So on that one alone, don't we have individuals can do the same thing that Kalimanchi is doing within the UPND party? So are we saying that Chawama tatwa Watama structures?
No, I don't think we have very strong structures in Chawama constituency. Okay. That is 100% PF constituency. So I don't think we had. That's why we are scrounging around to see who we can use to campaign, convince people in Chawama. Because basically it's full of PF people. It's a PF. I have a friend who owned a bar there, and he had to close it because during that time he was an enemy of the ruling party, because it's a very, very, very strong PF region. Yeah, he had to close the bar because he was a sympathizer of HH at that time. And
quite bad at Chandaba. There was one girl who used to live in Chawama. So she used to tell me all the time, but there's a bar named by you there. I'll take it.
Chandaba.
At the Chandaba. Quite bad Chandaba.
Yeah.
But anyway, so now people are saying, is this a warning sign, okay, for us as the UPND party, as a ruling party, okay, to say, or maybe August now, that's how it's going to be. People, they're going to vote secretly. They're not showing themselves. But is it like a sign or a warning? Okay. Just to show the certain dynamics in all this politics. Like, is this a sign? People want to know. Is Chawama a sign towards the August 2026 general election? Is it a sign?
I don't think so. I don't think that's a sign of what's coming in August. Chawama was as I said, Chawama is a very strong PF area. So I don't think the country has the demography of Chawama in terms of political alliance. So no, I don't agree that this is a sign for what's going to happen in August. I don't think so. It's far from it.
Okay. Watch Tumba.
If it's a sign or not, but
Yeah, is it a sign?
there
Like,
definitely is an issue, a sign per se that we should all be shaken and afraid of. It sounds to me like it's that we have to kind of step up in order to overcome some of these other things. The only thing that will overcome any of these other things coming up is to mobilize better and have more people out to vote. If we don't, we'll be either breaking even or very close to feel like we are being challenged heavily by contenders of other ruling parties or other parties. So, given that if our people just get out there and do what they have to do, we should be okay. I don't think it's a sign that everything is going to go down. There could be some seats that we may lose, but not all, not many.
Is everything tasting good so far?
okay,
Enjoy.
okay. Hmm. Yeah, that's understood, very understood. And you know, one other thing that people also want to know is, um, are we betraying our full-time UPND members? Are we betraying them? Are we not taking care of our own? Because we've seen all these, online, from people complaining and stuff like that. Now, has the UPND reached at the level where they're no longer looking at the guys, the foot soldiers, okay, or taking care of them? Okay, because I was watching one picture from video from the lady Vachuga Mateo. She was like, she was on the ground in Chawama, and she saw certain things that she wasn't really happy about, on how the UPND party treated its members. And as a matter of fact, even the secretariat there, how people were, even in terms of food and everything, like it was like people were shortchanged and stuff like that. And who knows what the truth is, but people are complaining to the fact that most staunch UPND members are not benefiting from the party, but people who are foreigners, they're benefiting. How
I
true is
think
that?
I think the reason why our members are complaining is that we are coming from a regime that used to give a lot of handouts to their people on the ground. Like the Kalimanshis used to get bundles and bundles of money every Friday.
Mhm.
So we are coming from that type of an example, and then we come to a party where you say you can only get that money if you work hard, and nothing will be free. Um, so I think that's the reason why people are comparing the comparative aspect of it, where they're saying, "Oh my goodness, my neighbor was PF last regime,
Mm.
and he used to enjoy. He used to get bundles of money every Friday. But for me, here, I don't get anything free. So the handouts have stopped. But in my view, even if we don't give handouts like PF used to do, we should have a system where our members can somehow benefit. For example, um, we should have the revolving funds within our party, not stealing from the government, of course. Let's have revolving funds within our party that can help members to develop businesses, to get a little small loans, because they have card carrying members.
Mhm.
UNIP used to do that. Well, they used to have investments, Dolly Motors and all these guys.
Mhm.
They used to have investment, and the UNIP membership used to have access to some of these funds. I think that's the best way we can do it. Leaving it to the MPs and councillors to help our people on the ground alone will not happen, because our councillors and MPs are not getting stolen money that like PF used to have. Okay, they steal money and then come to their wards, and they start giving out bundles and bundles of money. We don't have that system. So I think we need to, as a party, develop a proper institution or setup where our members can access financial help. It's money, really, money and food that we require. Our members are suffering, and they don't have any leverage to go to their party and say, hey, look, I'm a member, help me. There's no such a system. I think we need to start such. Thank you.
That's a good idea. In the meantime, we've got Vahamwami has just joined us. Macha, how are you?
Before I answer your greeting, I'll take you to court. You are mispronouncing my name. I'm Himwami.
Himwa.
I'm a man. Himwami.
Mwami.
Himwami.
Himwami.
Yes. So,
what is Mwami?
Mwami, the
The
chief.
chief.
Chief, yes.
So,
And you know, if I finish my name, it's Himwami Maja.
So the great king?
Yeah, it's royal. It's associated to royalty. It's not just an ordinary name.
So he is a male. If it's a girl, it's she.
No, it depends on which part of southern province you're from. Like if you're from Monze, you would be called the Himwami. If you go to some areas like Kalomo, they'll call you as the Simwami. If you go to areas like Namwala, they'll call you Shimwami.
Whether you're male or female.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Anyway, the charge is withdrawn. I welcome myself to the program. I was a bit tied up with work. I'm calling you from Stratford-upon-Avon in England. I joined the discussion. May we proceed?
So thank you. So we've actually we've been tackling the issues at hand, and we've dealt with first of all the first topic, which was the Chawama seat. Okay, so we lost the Chawama seat. What were the reasons why we lost it? Was it just because of we are not strong in Chawama, or people were voting because of sympathy of ECL? And we'll try to figure out why. That's where, and then
Okay.
If you can go on and just summarize on that issue.
Yeah, maybe I can chip in with the two things. Chawama, the day of adoption, we're told there was a candidate who was picked. Then in the course of the day, tables turned and said this candidate was not appearing on the voters' roll. So they had to change quickly and go to the one who was in the race.
Munda.
Yes. Now, on the ground, people wanted the first one, the one who was adopted. But unfortunately, he was not on the voters' roll. So the voters as well, they need to be educated on the electoral code, electoral regulations in Zambia. It's not just about wanting to support a candidate. They should know the qualifications for someone to be adopted. Because some remained with a feeling like our candidate has not been picked. So that equally costed us a vote there. Then the other reason that may have costed us a vote is that seat has always been opposition, I think. FDD, that's their stronghold. Then Nundwe, that is his home ground. He did a lot of groundwork previously. And maybe our person who lost did not do as much groundwork as he did, the way Nundwe did it before. Okay. That's my take.
What
Okay.
But
about what about Kalimanshi?
oh, uh, the taking on of Kalimanshi is it fulfills the adage that there are no permanent enemies in politics, and numbers for politics are what count. But we need to differentiate between numbers. Some numbers are even, some numbers are odd. I've always talked about this. Some numbers are prime, some numbers are natural numbers.
Mm.
You know, just taking in everything. Like that guy, the way he behaved, the way he was talking ill about UPND. I have my own reservations. Given a chance, I would have just like said, okay, Kalimanshi, just take your path. We also take our path as UPND. If possible, be peaceful. We shall also be peaceful. Let's be meeting, campaign for whatever party you will, but not UPND. Yeah, it's a good mistake. It's a good mistake. Kalimanshi, I for one, if it was within my powers, no. Kalimanshi, no, because he demonized UPND. That guy demonized. He made UPND look like nothing. And even the day UPND won, I think Kalimanshi took everything, took him by surprise. Even the way he was behaving with the late Edgar, wearing a uniform for the soldiers. That combat, wherever he got it from, yes, he can be forgiven, but he must tell us more before he's just. You don't just take someone because has he repented? What sins has he confessed to this father? Say, no, father, I've committed this sin, this sin. He can't just generalize, say, wale miuma, tualia badia. Let him generalize the sins that he did because he kicked a lot of people. Kwenze kam God na kwa kuja Chawama ka. Those are the guys that even operated come God. No. Let's be serious. We cannot handle these criminals with the kid gloves. Those guys were running a terrorist for lack of a better word. Those guys were terrorists. You can't just take them on and say, okay. Politics, as what you need everyone, including Saka. No. Given chance, I would have said no. But the party is supreme. If the party says yes, who am I not to?
Mm.
I yield.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, well, if the party said yes, who are we? We can only just give our opinions.
Mhm.
But that even brings me to one point that I was trying to raise to say, like, why don't sometimes the party listen to its individual or its real members? Okay?
Okay, I'll tell you this. There is no real member of a party. There is no real member. Because if real members are really there, they must have a larger say. Just to get an example from our former PF, they are calling them founders, council of elders. One of them is Inonge, and some the founder members of PF, the four, is it?
Mm. Bachimba Kambi puts himself there.
No, those are juniors.
And then Kwali Baba
Okay, let's take it. Those people are there.
Mm.
When they say something now to guide the current disorganized PF, they are the real members for PF. Right? When they say something, say you caps from PF that are disorganized, can you do this and this? Are they able to get them? Nothing. So real membership in a political party is not there. The only real member in a political party is the president. That's all. If you say something, they can listen. If HH says no violence, the day he was elected president, we all heed to that. No one went underground to start persecuting PF. We heard. He's a real member. But if PF guys now, if PF Inonge Wina were to say, hey, please, can you PF guys get organized and see how we can organize ourselves towards the next election? They can't be gotten. No one can heed their advice. So real members, no. Political party, no. You are not guaranteed. Membership is not guaranteed.
Okay. So membership is not guaranteed.
No.
No, it's not guaranteed. And so people can change and switch at any time.
Yes.
Okay. And if we look at the current situation, like we have to work on, what we can see and what we can touch. Chawama Korea, if we're going to put it or base it on Chawama, we need to really understand, like, look, if we have structures in Chawama which are definitely weak,
okay,
we need to start working on those things. Because this should be an alarming bell for the UPND campaign team to say, look, Chawama is ripe for business, but we don't have stronger structures, because this was supposed to be a walkover, to be honest. If you look at the way the PF is, it's in disarray. Nobody knows whether it's PF, UP, but they managed to get voters, as were they heavy campaigning with all the materials, all the jitenges. Okay? And we end up losing, then there's something.
There's something I will say over this. Going by what has come out in the press, the structures are there quite all right. But it's like there was no money. There was no something. Something was absent. So the structures are there. People are there. But I think there was a lack of something. No finances. Already we hear someone is saying she was using personal monies for fuel. And that they were told to sacrifice. It's time that we learned how to sacrifice. Hello.
Yeah. You know what? What you're saying is true. What you're saying is true. But I would love to hear.
Whose mic? There's a mic somewhere.
Never. What doctor? Doc. What you call that? Is that you?
You guys are amazing, and thank you so much. Thank you.
Hello.
What's going?
Of course, thank you to all of the sponsors.
Okay.
Everyone who was helping.
Can you mute him from there?
Let me try this.
Just thank you so much for your help throughout the weeks.
You can mute him from there.
Should I say?
Yeah, I will try. Let me see.
Okay.
As always, that's your fault, guys.
Oh, okay. Oh, no. This is what Danny.
No, anyway, thank you so much.
Dr. Dan.
You're doing for me and blah blah blah.
Dr. Dan.
No.
He's forgotten that he did.
Medicine was playing incredible. I really couldn't do anything this much. And next time I play against medicine, I'll bring better things.
Hello. Okay.
Yeah. So
You muted him. Yeah. So we're saying if someone can complain now about not having had money for fuel, it means a lot. Fuel makes people move from point A to point B. So if she was sacrificing and then reached an extent where her personal resources drained, you can only imagine how many times she went back there to campaign. Maybe she went there, when her personal resources drained, she didn't go back there to campaign. So it could be the reason our vote got lost into the FDD hands. Because resources, money is everything in politics. You have to spend. And if fuel is not there, no. It's a non-starter.
Yeah, that's very true. So looking at the way we I want to Brother Rhodesia, from outside looking in, looking very, very unorganized, and and really I want to believe that
Grand Slam title.
Mr. Dan, Madani, are you there?
As he gets set to hold his Daphne at first.
Must be,
Would you please welcome?
Anyway, so I want to believe that, look, we've reached at the level where we actually don't even need people like those individuals, because we're already winning, really. I mean, there's nothing that they're going to bring to the table that we're not already producing. So it's something that's more of loss to us and stuff like that. Now, let's go to the second topic. Let's move away from that.
Okay.
The second topic is, I don't know if you researched this or you heard about it, but Zambia has actually opted out of the IMF program.
I just got this. I've not done much research.
They've opted out, even in the extension, facility program that is there for them. Because at this point we can actually borrow more money through the IMF. Okay, but Zambia has decided to say we're not going to do it.
See, maybe it's the Chinese yuan arrangement.
Well, no, maybe it's certain sectors, but here, but I think sometimes maybe just looking at it from outside looking in, as an individual, I can give a classic example of just a normal, ordinary human being. If you've been working hard trying to get your credit up there, right? Because you know how it is here in the developed world, it's all about credit, right?
Yes.
So you're working hard, then your credit is there.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, people start offering you all these different deals or credit. Say, oh, you can have a credit card, you can have this. And then it's like, okay, do I really need them right now? Okay,
I can stand on my own.
I can just opt out. Thank you very much. I'm going to opt out and just work with what I'm working on right now. Okay, so that's where Zambia is. After meeting all the obligations of the IMF and all the targets, we've reached at a level where IMF now, okay, if you want to say, can we go into the second phase? Zambia, we don't want to go there. We want to sit first and analyze.
Where did we go wrong?
Yes. And then if we want to come back to you, it won't be the same structure. Okay? It won't be the same, the same IMF structure. The only time we're going to come back to the IMF if it's going to be a different structure that benefits a local Zambian, a barber shop, somebody working, purchase on the market. Policies.
I had a problem here one time when I saved 1,500 pounds. I saved the hard cash. And when it got to that much, I said, there's one phone I've always wanted. There's one phone I've always wanted to have. Samsung S24 with 1 terabyte space. So when I went to 1 terabyte, when I went to buy it from Vodafone, they told me, we can't sell you this phone even if you have the money. I told them, you people are here for money. If you buy this phone for cash, there's no price for cash. There's no price for cash. The only phone which is here is similar to what you want, is on contract. For 4 years, you'll be paying about £52 a month for everything. And I said, hey, you people, I have the money. I want to buy it. It becomes mine. I'm a free person. I'll be paying you the services, not the phone. Let's just be in this service provision thing. No, it's not possible. You can try somewhere else. I went to Argos, the shop. They sell those phones. With the money, asked them how much it costs. They told me 1,400. I produced the cash. The thing they were telling me also is, no, you can pay this thing slowly. You can pay for it slowly. You can use the money for some other things. You can maybe you can buy some other things, you can pay some other bills. Then per month you'll be paying us about £100 for about 2 years. And I said, yeah, that's a good idea, but I've already done my mathematics. All I need is my own phone. That's the case. Then we shall call the manager. They called the manager of the shop. He came and he was told, this man has the money. He wants to buy the phone for cash. And the manager said, but what's the problem? The regulations that, no, okay. Let's go to my office, young man. We went to his office. You want to buy the phone? Yes. You have the money? Yes. Okay. We will sell you the phone. And the phone was sold to me for cash. You can see what you mean there is you are not supposed to be free. When you look for independence, problems come your way. No one is happy with your independence because they know that they want to enslave you, perpetual enslavement. If you have seen a way of coming out, please come out while you can. It happened with me just over a phone. Now, when you narrate to me about Zambia having reached that point, now they think they can stand on their own feet, withdraw from IMF. I think it's a right decision. We have a president that has a vision. He can't decide that after having seen nothing. No, there's something you've seen.
Definitely. There's a lot that, and of course,
so I can contribute to that a little bit also, gentlemen. So my point was keep cracking up. So having said that, that our country is trying to get out of all this perpetual enslavement forever. If you look at it, the fear that we should all have is that the change of any of this leadership we have will direct the country's direction towards things that are away from the things that they're avoiding like this. For instance, if, God forbid, HH is no longer our leader at some point when he's done with his term or somebody comes in, we would hope that that somebody else who comes in kind of adopts the same or similar or some kind of similar policies like we do have. So what these IMF people look at is like, okay, so you got one term, don't worry,
Okay.
and that person would say, well, I have a best interest of our country to the direction where it's going. So I think the best thing is to do this and that. We may find ourselves back in the same we are in, we came out of, as far as money in Congo is concerned and management of debt and that. His policies and whatever is going, assuming that someone else comes in to take over, for instance, leadership of our country and adopts these kind of policies, we may be okay. But the issue that we have is, do we have the guarantee or the assurance that we may have somebody who may be able to get these policies forward, like onto the next level after HH? That's a question we should always be afraid of. Sometimes, in my opinion, that's why I feel like some of these crazy called dictators sometimes want to leave the
Is he propagating a third term for HH?
I don't.
No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Sometimes
Propagating, please.
bigger picture. No. Look at the bigger picture, and you're thinking, who is going to be not manipulated again? Who could?
Yeah.
If Yamusanga, people like HH steps down, he becomes a prime minister of some kind. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I'm just going to be a prime minister, like a portfolio, minister of that portfolio or of some kind, whereby I could be advisor to this group. I would definitely say, you know what, stay in the government because we need you. We need somebody like that. But God forbid we change the party completely to a different party. Oh Lord, you can only imagine whoever comes in of what they can come up with.
Changing of leadership, I think that's a very big topic, and me personally, I'd rather have a woman take over. I would rather have Vamayoba Nalumango take over, really, and have HH at her side as a consultant, because HH will be at that point. If we bring in Walumango, imagine this: we're going to bring in the first female president in Zambia. First ever. Okay? First ever. So we're going to bring her as the first president. She'll be hand in hand working with HH. Because HH, because of limitation of, like you say, duration of everything that is supposed to be, he can only just do 10 years legally. So unless something else or whatever, and we don't want to bring all these.
On that one, I've got this suggestion. The day we win the elections, 2026, we need to start grooming people for these roles that HH has created. There has to be a way of carrying the vision. We need more vision carriers other than HH.
People that will carry the torch.
Yes. And this thing of like permanent secretaries, we need professional people to be there. And if possible, the law must be passed to say permanent secretaries at the change of government must remain working even for 2 or 3 years. There has to be that transition. This minister comes in as in the ministry with a lot of excitement after winning parliamentary elections. You want to distort a few things. But if a professional like a permanent secretary is there by law for 2 years, he must be there. This thing of contract must come to an end. Secretary to cabinet, there has to be a way of holding these leaders accountable, these ministers accountable. There should be someone telling the minister, no, we don't do this. Instead, we do this. The reason we opted out of IMF is because of this and that and that. Now that you have come, you want to tell us to go back to IMF. These are the consequences. No, there's nothing you can
Well,
tell me.
you're saying the right things, though. You're saying the right things. I think those things are already in place. What is there is that people don't use them. I believe, I think the structure is okay, in my opinion. I feel like the permanent secretaries, I didn't even know that's actually contracts. They probably should stay longer than the government that is they're saving.
Yes,
I believe,
yes.
yeah, they should. I believe there have been. Some of them are not just leftovers from previous governments. They just still continue staying over. But however, those safeguards are already in place, but they're just not used right. I feel.
No,
You're right.
they get fired. Once it's only HH that was a bit kind, gave them some time to work. But in previous arrangements, like when
Mhm.
MMDPF handed over power, there was mass people were exiting off the same first day. The permanent could not even report to office.
Well, that's
He's
the
out.
problem right there.
Yes. Now, where does continuity happen? Like
No, it
Patrick
can't.
Kangwa. Patrick
Mhm.
Kangwa was for PF, if you remember very well.
Mhm.
HH has gotten hold of him to date. In the PF time, he was deputy secretary to cabinet, not so.
Yeah.
Yes, when HH came to power, he made him secretary to cabinet, and he's still there. So there are some things that we should hold dear. Some certain information that must be passed on.
Well,
New
but
broom.
the government is a functioning industry. At the end of the day, I would think that the permanent secretary is considered like a CEO of the ministry, if anything. And if a
There's,
minister comes in, they are just advising them, and they go
there's,
through them to make things
there is
happen. So
intimidation.
yeah,
There is
that should
intimidation.
end. That should
There
end. They
cannot.
should be sealed. They should be sealed by contracts, knowing that even if you come, you're not going to just get rid of me by Parliament. Passing a law in Parliament and say Secretary of Cabinet, Secretary of what do you call them? Permanent secretaries should have, if it's 5 years or whatever extra time after that,
Uh,
let them be,
mhm,
and after that
mhm.
renewable, whatever. But you
Yes,
can't just
yes,
get there and get rid of them, because that's the reason why some of these function ministries, like the Ministry of Health, is terrible. It's because of things like that. Those changes create a lot of loopholes for corruption. You know,
yes, yes.
that's
You
a
have
problem, right?
you have
It's a
got
problem
So
maybe
with things like that.
okay.
you've had the
I think what you guys are saying is this. Maybe we should create a system where we identify people within the UPND party that have some sort of qualifications, and they can go into permanent secretary roles. Now, remember, there's an institution that has been built by the government of Zambia, NIPA, where people can go there and train. Okay, so those individuals, they can point out certain individuals, target them, get them, make sure that they get those diplomas and whatever, because I think NIPA is at the diploma level. I don't know if they have reached that degree level.
they offer degree programs. They can offer degree programs.
Oh, they're doing it now, because I know
Yes, they
that
do.
was just a diploma level last time I
No,
was.
they do degrees. Degree in law, human resource management.
Hmm.
Yeah, they do
Yeah,
degrees now.
okay, fine. So that's good. So what we need to do is get individuals that we know these are our people. These are our
Think
men,
tank, think
right?
tanks.
these are the young people that we talk about grooming as early as that. Bring them in the system. So by the time, even if a government a change, there's a government change, at least we know that we got individuals, we got people in there. Yeah, that's how
Mhm.
it should be, because that's how they were doing back in the days. Because you have to bring in people in your system. And if by the way, if our party can listen to us right now, I think they can maybe pick one or two things.
Yes.
I don't know if they're doing it.
You see,
But if they're not doing it, it's
you know,
going to be a
in
big question mark, because
Bemba, what do you say? Amano yafuma muifwesa ya muchuru ya muifwesa. Ashani humlanda. Man, in Tonga we say mano alazwa mugansumbwa. The smallest thing that you ignore can tell you something sensible. You know, you imagine this lion is trapped in a cage, a wire, a cage that has got a lot of ropes around.
Yes. It's like in a bush, like it's
Yes.
like it's not like
Yes.
a bush, but it's like some sort of like a
network of ropes.
a cocoon, maybe.
Yes, a network of ropes. Now, what freed this lion? It's a small thing like a rat, because it cut off some certain parts that made a good exit for the lion to come out, a bigger exit. So what we are saying now is cannot be for nothing. The powers that be should get this. See, if we just identified people, think tanks, start grooming them now, give them an education, give them the base, we can get somewhere. But even by 2031, we would not even be in a leadership crisis, because we would have done our homework. Because by then, opposition may have gained ground to look at, to identify the weaknesses that we have. They may say, look, these guys don't even have a president. They don't have direction.
There's a whole lot of reason why we keep recycling the same kind of people from one party to another to another to another. Eventually, they are the same people, just with different jerseys. There's a different.
Yes.
There's the reason why. I think it's because of the system. The system, the way it's designed. In my opinion, succession of a better leadership should start from the beginning. It could have started in 2021. Okay, HH is on. We know he's going to do 2 terms. Who is likely to take over after that? And then there's the direction supposed to be going in that way. Then having a waiting period where there's completely an unknown situation where who comes through. Let me give you an example. If you think of how Chagwa came in, it's purely by accident. You've got to remember that. Chagwa came in purely by accident. RB came in purely by accident after Mwanawasa. So we cannot continue having a country like that. We have to have some kind of a structure that seems like, there's a go-to person. That's why some countries in the old days, they used to have like a prime minister. We know that there's a CEO somewhere who's going to sit down and, there's a prime minister who's going to redirect certain things going in a certain way. But here, we just go on party by party, and, every day is like an unknown. If God forbid tomorrow HH dies out of a heart attack that we didn't know of, I don't know anybody can tell me that, this person can take over and be the next person, because even the vice president is like a doubtful. We just cannot have a structure like that.
When you talk about how these leaders come to power, you remind me of how Edgar was chosen as the president of PF. I was watching, and I will not forget. Elections were done, counting of ballot papers was done, but suddenly there was just a fracas, a hullabaloo, a kerfuffle that happened, whereby now people had to overlook the election results and just went, who wants Edgar Lungu to be president? By show of hands. People raised up their hands. That's how that man got the PF presidency. Not through the ballot.
Yeah,
And
that's what I'm
then,
saying. Is by accident, and then look
yes,
at the repercussions we get out of that. We have
yeah,
an
you can
accidental
imagine.
president, but look at
Yes.
the damage that came in all the period of time that is gone.
Uh-huh.
The rise of the PF thuggery and the
Uh-huh.
destruction of the economy,
Uh-huh.
the
Uh-huh.
complete destruction of the country. But because of accidental leaders, we cannot do that. And if us UPND, we should do better. Now this is basically HH only has 4 years old, 4 years to go. If 5 years to go, if anything, after this year.
Uh-huh.
Honestly, at what point? But here's the thing. Also, I mean, just deviate a little bit here. I think they do know very well that if HH starts aligning to someone else, it will seem that that person might there could be start confusions in the party. So HH is very intelligent that he would rather keep quiet about it, and even the whole thing is just like it's nothing, like it's not being encouraged to even be a conversation, because at the end of the day it will start a lot of internal fighting, and we cannot really fathom to deal with it.
No,
Possibly
you should
after
not
these elections,
you should
maybe.
not groom you should not groom one person. You should groom
What's
many.
the, oh yeah,
Many.
that's it. That's a rise
There
of a
should be
problem. You cannot do that. That's a rise of a very bad issue. You
there has to
can't
be a
do that.
decoy. There has to be a decoy.
Ay, ay, ay.
A decoy. Because one person, they will certainly identify him and clear him. Say this one can't be our leader. But African politics, the way they are, they've always had a situation whereby if the vision carrier goes, things also go blank. Let's just pray that HH does his work, looks for someone who can take over from him, grooms him secretly. I don't know, just secretly. He should be groomed, and then he takes the mantle over. It should not be the Uganda arrangement, please. We can as well delve back to the Uganda arrangement. We should not just talk about Zambian thing. Look how this son to Yoweri Museveni is threatening the losing candidate. We tolerated you. Don't think you will be the same when my time comes. My turn comes. Look at what is with African presidents. How has he known that his turn is coming? Is it a dynasty? We are lucky in UPND, there's no dynasty. No. But we need to guard against this thing of leadership vacuum. UPND should never be found in a leadership vacuum. Otherwise, people will laugh at us. Look, you did this, you're proud of this, you're proud of this, you're proud of the free education policy, free education law. Now, where's your leadership? Nothing. Your leaders were not serious. Where are they? Show us who your leaders are now. We should not find ourselves in the chipante-pante arrangement that is in the Greens. No. Us, we should have solid arrangements at any given time. We should not even have queries with the Register of Societies. Who is the president? No, there's this UPND 1, UPND 2, UPND faction. Come on. No. We need to work against that as early as possible. We should just be united. In fact, we've seen what's happening with the other political parties that were once in power, how they disintegrate. MMD faction for this one, MMD faction for that one, PF for this one, PF for that one, PF for that one, PF for Tonse. In fact, the chance that UPND has now is that they're at a vantage position. They've seen how other parties are disintegrating. So they can as well put measures in place which can avoid that. And they have the time. They have time, they have resources, and they have the incumbency. So it's not something that is very difficult to do. They can manage. They have, like the other speaker pointed out, he said they have the caliber of people that can be trained to understand the nature of government operations, political machinery, that kind of thing, where you have strategic people in strategic positions, and those people are given mandate through a contract. Even if that other government was to come in, they would just say, no, 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 things are in place. You continue with your ceremonial roles. We shall continue with our professional roles. That way, we can get somewhere. I yield. Hello, am I alone here now? Hello? Hello?
Hello, hello. No, you're not alone.
Okay.
I don't know what happened. I pressed the wrong button. Anyway.
You pressed the wrong button.
Uh-huh. So, look, Masha.
Yes, sir.
The thing is this. We are living in a very different world right now, where we can actually identify who your neighbor is. You know, remember, Mamasha, I think you're old enough. The time that during the Kaunda session,
Yes.
there was a time where people would there was you had a bin outside, and the city council will come and pick that bin and dispose the garbage. They give Berama Jera Dama bin. Each and every house had a Jera bin.
Yes.
Okay. And then
I remember very well.
Oh yeah, I remember I was a kid, very, very young, because I remember I was every time I go visit my grandmother, watch a compound, and quite bin GRZ, but funyeni bini mubike pa musevo, but I said basende banani kane
our council.
And then they would come.
They were not calling it a bin. Ingungulu.
You see? And
Ingungulu.
You can imagine they would come, they would pick line by line, house by house.
Yes.
Okay? And that was working. Why did that system stop working? Why?
Why it stopped working? When the population of Zambia got to increase, the resources equally did not increase at the pace of the population increase. So it was found that not all homes had bins. Some had no bins, others had bins. So there was now this disposal of waste, whereby others could dispose it off in any manner they wanted, and others had to dispose of through the bin, and they were being charged by the council. So others said, we should be charged. If others are just throwing it, we shall get this bin, wash it, twakulabikira n'obunga munganda, naife twakula pose so panse like everyone else. Some of those bins, they are in homes, so balabikira muno obunga, so they are there. I saw one metal bin, so balabikira muno obunga. It became a cost to the council to be paying them every month for the bin. No. But this time around, it's back in some compounds. There's still people that collect rubbish and people pay money for that. But there are very few that abide by that.
Rachkonka, are you there now, or you're still away?
He's away.
Okay, but
No,
then
I'm around. I'm around. I got my earpiece in me. I can hear everything, and I can only sometimes I'm falling out of because of signal issues. But I'm here. I can hear you.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're talking about during the Kaunda's time when things were like we were given beans and or other essentials. And I think Mr. Marshall explained it clearly that those services were not extended based on the fact that the population was growing as well, going with it.
Mm.
So
Hmm?
I feel like that is true. But again, those are some of the things that were like uh, wasn't that part of the council program, clearing the trash in the streets and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Are
then
you
Chiluba came to. I'm sorry.
are you aware of the fact that the mushrooming of shanty compounds, especially in urban centers,
Mhm.
made it impossible for garbage to be collected? There are some plots in Lusaka. You have a home, quite all right. You cannot access your home with using your own car. You have to leave your car kurojuko elo waenda pancho kutifike panganda pamyo.
But
Now
Masha, don't even
imagine,
get me started. Don't even get me started about Lusaka's housing program. I think that is the poor management of housing
un,
and planning on
unplanned
the behalf of
unplanned
yes,
settlement.
unplanned
Unplanned
settlements.
settlement.
That's an
Yes.
issue of the city council itself and the
Yes.
government that works with it. So
So
that's self-inflicted. Really, honestly,
unplanned
Lusaka is a
settlement
very
made it difficult.
poorly done city.
Unplanned settlement made it difficult for local councils to implement an effective garbage collection system because some places were not accessible to get the bin, but they were producing the rubbish. See?
Okay.
So,
So let Chikonka finish his point.
okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I kind of lost the train of thought. I'm not sure where I was. But I feel like the whole thing about how those local government ministry and what the city council and other people have done was completely mismanaged by our government involvement. So if you can imagine when Nuchiruba came in, he started selling a man the 10 kwacha for whatever, for all these city council homes and things like that. That decapitated the capacity of the city councils to actually be able to have revenue to function. And if you do remember, Nina Ogachewa council workers were going months and years without getting paid at some point, unless now, because they couldn't find anywhere else to collect money from, to revenue in order to sustain their operations. And secondly, some things that were paying like minimum fees of marketeers paying certain minimum amounts for using markets and things like that. Those are monies that were being used for operations of the council in its whatever they did. However, when Chiluba did all that, the power was given to the cadres. Cadres took over markets, and they amplified the whole operations all the way into the PF regime. And now all revenue that actually council was supposed to be collecting in order to run their operations were now just being managed by commanders. We call them commanders. They're charging people or paying for doing this for you, and bus drivers. And money was not being extended, going to be used for other things. That's the downfall of where we are right now. To this date, the councils still struggle. These were bigger entities, but they struggle so much to actually even keep their own operations. It's no wonder they let go of planning was part of the council, housing, planning, and working together now Ministry of what do you call it, housing development, and I think what Garin Combo was, whatever that ministry is.
Local
They
government.
just local government and housing. They just stopped. To a point where now it's pante. That's why you have these mushrooming of these compounds. There's ramshackles everywhere in Lusaka, anywhere around it, anywhere they can find space, they're putting it. To this date, now those became cadres and supporters of ruling parties because they were supported of whatever they're doing. Became harder for those people to be pushed away, because pushing them away meaning losing votes. So the only thing is to keep a blind eye, ignore them. And then all this nastiness and cholera and drainage problems in Lusaka and all kind of stuff comes in. So this is something that has been building over the years. But this wasn't the case. If you remember in Lusaka, when I was young enough to remember, there was stores like Moisen, ZCPC, and all that kind of stuff. Lusaka was like not congested as it is. Things were going well. They had good drainage systems, good housing, areas where people used to live, and all that kind of, all these kind of things were well managed. But suddenly, if you look now, and that day, we're talking about under 30 years, Lusaka is just something different. There's no development.
Lusaka,
It's just a mess.
Yeah.
It's a mess.
Well,
Lusaka has everything.
yeah. So what you're saying now, let me just chime in on what you're saying. Looking at the history of Lusaka itself, in other areas and all these places, and a drainage system is one thing that's number one that I've always been talking about. Like, why don't we sort out this thing once and for all? Why each and every year we have a problem of blockages and stuff like that?
It's not about every year.
No, but
It's not
that's what it is. But every year
no
it's
no no.
happening.
Let me chip in there. It's not about every year. We're looking at the terrain of Lusaka. Lusaka is underlain by a limestone rock that
Okay.
is impervious of water, and that the size of thickness of the soil to that layer of rock is very small. Any small amount of water that gets in the soil and saturates it fast, floods come about, drainages get blocked. The whole Lusaka lies on a limestone rock.
Yes. That I know. Let me tell you one thing. My grandfather,
Mhm.
he told me this story. He told me one story. He actually told me, like, look, the time that we actually moved from Kasama, and
Mhm.
when first time we reached Lusaka,
Mhm.
it was a bush. Lusaka was like a bush.
Mhm.
Okay, it was a bush, and then there was only one river. Okay, that was flowing through. Okay, which was
Okay.
by Cairo Road. That it was a river. He told me that it was a river actually,
Okay.
and it was a river. Cairo Road did. Yari River. A small river. It was a small river. That's why even up to today, if you had to go and check Panshi pa Cairo Road paliba drainage system. Pangira kale.
Yeah.
What they did was
Oh yes.
they tapped
Yes.
onto the system to say, okay, akamana kotoa kwataka river kotoa kwataka. Kale picked up Panshi. All right. People don't even realize that Panshi, it's a drainage system that was built back in the 60s. Okay?
Uh-huh.
And then why are we subjecting ourselves to all these drainage systems or to panganomba nowadays? If you go whereby if it's summertime, people just throwing garbage there. Why don't we do underground like the way it was? Because you're flooding Tayakapwe unless we start doing underground drainage systems. Because underground drainage systems, it will make sure that other than abantu in summertime, barapanga drainage but shaky by the time it's now if you they make it like a place where they can throw garbage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's the problem that we're having right now. And people don't realize it. But me, I'm looking like, look, way back there, go Mukairo Road, just walk, but there's like a passage, that underground part, yeah, ni drainage system, yeah, but it's deep.
Up to North Mid, it can take you up to Zesco North Mid.
Okay.
And that's the one whereby, like, when these chaps steal something from you in town, they rush into that thing what tolokeramo chapa walo banokulu banotuma torch bafumina na ku Zesco ku North Mid Great East Road.
Okay, so those aside from that bad criminal stuff, but you can imagine this because look, if it's not raining, if it's not that, that's what was happening. But if it's raining, I mean, okay, nobody's going to be there when it's raining. But if we make things like that, and this was done way back then, na technology, na ideas, we need to, manzi child. You can imagine mule pa Monday you I mean shinaingira pa crossroad para
Yeah.
Are you serious?
That's the bad part about it. Lusaka resources development, it has not matched with the population. The rate of development has not matched with the adequate infrastructure. The infrastructure can even be drainage system. They have good roads, but those roads, and there's a lot of pavement. There's a lot of surface that is paved where water cannot seep through. So that water has nowhere to go. So it will find itself on top.
And therefore, I feel one of these engineers from University of Zambia that they are studying that can challenge us to come up with a proper Lusaka city.
And a new one. A new Lusaka city.
I once, back in the days when the Romans, when Rome was being built, okay, Rome wasn't built in one day.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened was, the king at that time, he announced to the people in Rome to say, I'm looking for artists, I'm looking for architectures. He called upon everybody, the best in the business. Okay? 10 to Rome. 10 to Pange Rome. And people came up. They raised their hand, they say, look, me, I can do this. This one, me, I can do this. This one, me, I can do this. Okay? That's where we had all these prominent people that, Leonardo DiCaprio, all these other people, all these they came out and they built Rome.
What it is now.
Okay? Same thing if you want to Lusaka to kai pange if we not for Monica Lusaka. To get the abantu we want to acquire this. Aba kwata talent.
But no. We shouldn't just do that. We should just look for a new Lusaka. We have a lot of land around Zambia. A new Lusaka. Lusaka can extend outwards.
No, because for longest time we're saying Lusaka and Kafue should be one city. Lusaka, Kafue should be one city. For the longest time, that's what people have been saying.
Yes, there's a lot of land between Lusaka and Kafue where we can build a modern city of Lusaka. Simple. It's just legislation for Chapo. Land can be appropriated for a modern city of Lusaka to be built with everything in it. Then that one remains as the old Lusaka. There's Imokwadiwa old Yoku kote.
Oh yeah.
Old York, and there's New York.
Machkonka, what do you have to say on this one?
They should move Lusaka to Kapirimposhi.
They should move Lusaka to Kafue.
No, they should move it all the way towards the Copper Belt and have it like halfway through the country and then center it. Maybe Pakabwe, Paria, but Pakabwe a little after Kabwe. They can
No, no.
they can move Lusaka there, and then and they build a new city right there, new Lusaka, and then it will decompress the city, the state, the country. A lot of people like basically, they don't have to build like Lusaka's cities. They should just use the administrative city of the country into another place, like complete administrative, like the way Pretoria is for South Africa. Just put it somewhere there. So all administration offices, government buildings, and this and that, they'll all move there. Offices and all that kind of stuff. So in that area, only government people work there, live there, and all that kind of things. So that will help a lot to decongest the city, because now all administration of ministries and all other administration, education, whatever, all will be in one area. Mama. So the administrative cities of the country, ministerial government buildings should move to another, just a new place altogether. That
Yeah,
way,
it can make
they
sense.
can stay, and then just do that. They don't have to move around to one state, just move only administration offices, and people will follow as it goes.
Mhm.
A job, because that's what jobs will be. So that you find people live closer, they'll build closer
Yeah.
by, and eventually starts growing up and becomes a modern city. High-rise
Right.
buildings, all these kind of malls and things like that. It will be
Yes.
a lot more appealing for people to move to the new place. So all
Mhm.
this nastiness in Lusaka will be stopped, and that place will be modern to a point where drainage systems will be better, electrical systems will be better, road infrastructure will be better, compound allocation, land
Yes.
management, and all these kind of things will be better. We
Yes.
have the land. There's no reason to continue living this way.
Uh,
In Kenya, they just are about to move everything else to a place called Tatu City. Tatu City is I think it's on the west side of Nairobi. West side of Nairobi. The administration offices are moving there, and there's a lot of other buildings there, and even industrial places where place. I have a condo there. I bought a condo recently in Kenya. That Yes, it's really in the Tatu City, but it's in high-rise building. It's in the
When are we
in the
when are we going
80s.
to go there for holiday?
Hey, you just let me know. I'll give you my key. You go in. So so it's coming up. It's coming up in this big high-rise building. My apartment will be like on the 82nd floor. Like it's high-end everything, new mall, new administration stuff, and all these people like Spirit Airline, United Airline, and other things. They have their administration offices. Hey, be quiet. They have the administration offices in that area. So the city of Nairobi, the government of Nairobi is actually trying to move they've already started moving some of the ministry offices in that area. So they're decongesting Nairobi. That way they can just have in that area. So it will be the new Nairobi, basically. It's called Tatu City.
No,
Yeah.
all those points are good, and
Mhm.
as a matter of fact, like that's what I was saying. Like, look, when I was as a kid, this is what we used to think about. Like, look, Kafue and Lusaka is close.
Too close, yeah.
Why don't we make it one city?
We can. Again,
Just make it
it's
one city,
management
like,
that matters, yeah.
So between the Lusaka, between Kafue Road, and all that stuff, you're going to development should be Kafue City. Is predominantly one of those cities that are pretty much low, but getting a ground now because there's so many investment that is happening. And once all those things happen, we can coin it to say, look, let's put every other independent
Point of interjection, sir. May I raise a question? What time are we ending? I
now.
should be almost in the next 2-3 minutes. Have some commitment somewhere.
Okay, no, we're about to end. So,
Mhm.
but in any case, so that's just one thing that I was just thinking, and we're just putting it out there. And
Okay.
but there's one thing that I've actually wanted to talk about and coin it out to say, like, look, if we're UPND, we need to actually look and really look and see who's sitting next to you, because Chamuniga Wati, the UPND party is not, for lack of a better word, we're not watching our backs, because uh, sometimes somebody will come up and say something else, and then tomorrow they say something else. So if we are really were UPND, just me, I'm very open, but let's be open. And you mean if you can tell me, Chanda want, no. Apa na, I will tell you, Apa, so. I will respect you that way. Anyway, uh, last remarks from the Matcha, and then we go through.
Okay,
Mom,
my last remark.
give me a sec. Mhm.
They are not very vast, but I express concern over the loss of the Chawama seat. It's a point of introspection. Our leaders should search themselves, do a source searching, see where they went wrong. Somehow also it gives the opposition false hope, say they can win, and they may start living in false glories. Who knows? Maybe this was just a strategy to make them think that it's well, so we can win. If we can win by elections, even the next general elections, we can win. Then on the other point of Zambia leaving IMF,
Yep.
let's see. We need to have a very good base for the reserves. Reserves.
Yep.
Yeah, we need very good reserves. If anything, if our reserves are low, we need to start topping them up now. These organizations are not good. They are not happy to see countries pull out of their groupings, because it may attract others, and they may want to give Zambia as a they want to teach Zambia a lesson. If this country pulls out, you see what we shall do. Give Zambia a lesson, others start watching, they quickly get back. So on the issue of reserves, we need to be serious about it. We need to top up those levels and control the government expenditure. Government expenditure must be controlled, because that's the one that drains most of the financial resources that we have in the country. President flying out 4 or 5 times, no. A workshop in China when we have an ambassador there, no. In America, there's this workshop in Ghana. Let's learn to use the embassy staff to represent Zambia. After all, we have a staff at the embassy in charge of trade, politics, education, military, environment. Come on, these things at the level of ambassador or attaché, they can be, people can be represented. Even ministers, they can be represented. And after all you need there is just to listen. There's even a report given at the end. You send it over to the minister, he reads. That's it. Unlike traveling, it would drain the resource. It would drain the yen. Is it? Oh, the yen or the dollar, whatever.
Yeah, you went.
Yes, I submit.
Okay, Machkonka. Mr. Chukonka, are you there?
Yes, I am. So my contribution to that, to end this all, I feel like the points that Mr. Masha just said are very valid, especially when it comes to making sure that we don't have like all these many travels that are undertaken by our government. I think some of these things are pretty much irrelevant, honestly. We can minimize those as far as when it comes to dealing with the opposition party. There's always one thing I think even HH's concept or HH the way he looks at it is the idea that an opposition member is not an enemy. I think an opposition member is it's a Zambian at the end of the day with different ideologies. We should not vilify them. I think the more you vilify people and try not to listen to them, it closes the idea of listening to each other. And you look at somebody as an enemy. I feel like as much as the opposition don't have much to give or say, sometimes it's okay to let them be what they say. You just let them say what they have to say, and sometimes you can learn from it. Sometimes you can't. But we will always know very well that they are always going to be on the opposite side of the spectrum, outside of us. That is not something that we should be doubtful of. Now, if it comes to our leadership in our country as far as representation is concerned, I feel personally we need opposition in every way we can. If we don't, we end up going to one party state. To some extent, I have to tell you, I think the loss of that seat in Chawama is a good thing for us. And I have to be honest with you. Why? First of all, people are justifying it that it's a PF stronghold. If at all this is how you're looking at it as a PF stronghold, and they came up and are still one, even as popular as we think we are in the policies and everything they were doing for the people, it should send a shockwave and say, how much more are we not convincing these people? You see? So if it was a slam dunk that it changes from PF to FDD, from FDD or whatever, whoever has been holding it for a long time, don't forget Chagwa had it, former president, his daughter, first daughter, has had the same seat, and now it's been given. And you can imagine if UPND won that, it would think like, well, the whole country is pretty much washed for anything. There's no challenge of any kind. I feel it's a good thing that we lost it because it shows us that there are some people that still hold the idea that some things are not really reaching them. Some things are not really happening to them. They don't believe in what we are doing. So it just gives you an urge to work harder, continuously working harder and doing it. I would hate for a country to go into one party state, which is possible. We could, if we continue like pushing these people as if they are demons in our societies whatsoever. Let's just accept them. Let them come with and all those hateful people. Let them talk however they talk. But as long as we are putting policies that are helping the common man out there, which we should start thinking, how do we start winning people over? We have to continue putting policies out there that are helping a common person, common family in there. You will see that, people will see like, what, opposition is just going to be there. They will continue doing checks and balances, but the things are working. People have electricity, have good drainage, have good schools. They already have free education. They have food on the table at least so often. Maybe they have jobs. Like what else is anyone else is going to sit there and question? I don't think so. So let's have the opposition. Let's continue allowing them to talk how they talk. That's fine. Let us continue losing as well as fighting for seats than just getting them just because now this is ours. No, we should be fighting for it. I end there.
Fantastic. I think you've actually outlined a lot of important points that that I was thinking about, and as a party, we cannot just sit behind and watch through the turns, because most of these seats, especially like Chawama, and there'll be more. These are seats that actually have to be looked upon, because the way the individuals and the people think there is different from the cities, from the urban cities. The people, somebody in Chawama, he wants to see something and he wants to touch it. Okay, so that's why when you saw, for example, Mausamba going there, and he was apparently giving money to those guys and stuff like that. Well, to them, that's what that's the thing. That's what they know, right? Because that's how they've been doctrined. But us as the UPND, we don't want to give money. We want to give developmental issues, want to bring out developmental programs. But people, for lack of a better word, they're not going to see that today. They'll just see it through other things and stuff like that, and they'll realize maybe years later. But for now, we have to go with the flow and look at how people react in a constituency like Chawama. People want right for Rupia. That's what they want. That's what they're looking for, and we have to actually. Oh, okay. But if we had strikers in Chawama, this whole information would have already been done. No matter how hard we tried, it was red. But the only thing is, people still had reservations. Why? Because they were still thinking about it. Maybe it was a protest vote, maybe it was sympathy vote, who knows? But in the next coming votes, during it wakwatako, what's his name? Our political what's his name? Oh, god damn. It goes. Our local government minister. I don't know.
Local government minister, Sia something.
No.
Gift Yaluval.
No. I'm talking about Banan Kaneva.
Pachanda. Pakazia. Ndio hapa mlomo ine mlenjererako.
Yeah. The local government was he was suspended.
Gary.
Combo. Okay. So I think Gary Combo, because Gary Combo is also the he was a political
elections chairperson.
So I think since that move, there's been a blank. There's been a blank because obviously he's.
You see, sorry, if Malanda number, you remind me of something.
Oh.
Can we send Gary to China? You should hear or know how they adopt people for these other posts. What do they look at?
Okay.
Yes, it's very important. What is it? Because they have a strong economy, and that strong economy does not just come. How do they adopt their leaders? How do they adopt their candidates in party structures? It's necessary. It may be so much, but in the end, it will pay off.
But we don't forget to conquer Milan China.
What is wrong now? If that's the only place where people are accountable, once a minister commits corruption, he's jailed or imprisoned. Why shouldn't we follow that arrangement? It's fine.
So by Gary Combo, it's been there's been a mess in the political system, because actually what now we need to do as UPND is just to employ a different individual. By Gary Combo needs to step down, put somebody else, put any individual, so that they have full control. Because
Mhm.
if Gary Nkombo has those, he's that individual, but he's not motivated because of what happened. Yeah, but can I have my politics? Yeah, can I have if a lukewarm kind of politics, or lukewarm kind of results, because
So
he's
imwe
still.
wantu ine akashita kanchepera. I'm late by 5 minutes.
So everybody's gone. So everybody's gone. We're going now, and
Okay.
we're just gonna say good night.
Good night.
All right, gentlemen. Let's meet next week
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
for the
Thank
same
you. Good
for
night.
the some. All right, guys. Good night. Thank you.
Time to you. Thanks.
All right.